had enough, because I've been holding in a lot of stuff just to keep the peace throughout the months. But at this point now, I'm just like, how am I gonna tell her? When's the best time to tell her? Do you know what I mean? Like, just living that nightmare. If I tell her, am I gonna not see my daughter again? My mum's just been moving funny. And put me on CSA. It was my uncle's funeral. She asked me if I could send her some money because my daughter didn't have any clothes to wear to come to the funeral. So I sent her the money. I was at the funeral to the end, and she didn't turn up.
Your daughter didn't turn up?
My daughter didn't turn up. My mum didn't call me and say she was.
What's going on, people, and welcome back to the Baby Fathers podcast for another brand new episode. I'm your host, and I'm going to be the name of DJ Ridler. Now, before we start today's show, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, make sure you subscribe to the channel now. Give us the thumbs up, and don't forget to press that notification button. So on today's show, we have another special guest, and he goes by the name of...
formerly known as Miguel. Blessings.
Yeah, respect for coming on, my bro.
Man, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate being there.
All right, so before we start, what brings you on to the Baby Fathers podcast?
So I was just going to say, make a declaration that basically I'm not here to drag anyone through the mud. I'm simply here to talk my truth and to try and get some resolutions out of it and answers, or do you know what I mean? Like trying to move it somewhere in the right direction.
Okay, so you kind of done half of my job for me. So before we're about to start, anything what you say, it's your truth and it's your truth only. Anything what you say, it's because it's how you know it to be and it's your experience, how you received it to come to you.
Sir.
All right?
Yes, sir.
So listen, we're going to start from the beginning. How many kids' mothers do you have?
So there's two.
Start from the beginning.
So I've got two daughters there, 11 months apart. One was born in January. The other one was born in February the same year.
So how was the relationship with mother one when you got with her? How was that situation first?
When me and my first daughter's mum got together, it was a vibe. It was great. Like, there was a deep connection, understanding she's a few years younger than me. And yeah, in the beginning it was everything was all good. Later on, things kind of like got a bit challenging. I just put it down to immaturity at the time, because I just thought, me being several years older than her, do you know what I mean? And at the time, well, I didn't know that she hadn't really been she's been in relationships prior to me, but what she had told me is that when we was together, it just felt like a whole different, like it felt real, like more serious. So I just thought a lot of the challenges that was in the relationship should grow out of it, you know what I mean? And I just tried to kind of hold her down on that aspect, like, do you know what I mean? Because we was all kind of young and immature, you understand? So
you've been with her, she's now gotten pregnant. What happened through that whole process there?
So when she was pregnant, I was back and forth every scan with her. We was living together. We had been together for maybe 2 years before she got pregnant. Me and her had a miscarriage as well, also before my daughter. So that's 4 miscarriages in total. Not from her, but you know.
Okay. And then how did that whole breakup happen between you and her?
So we basically had an argument. It was a toxic situation. It was a very toxic situation, and we had promised each other that before she even got pregnant, that we're not gonna be the type of parents that is gonna raise a child in a toxic environment. Do you understand? Like, we went through arguments and stuff before in the relationship, but we always in the end spoke about it, hatched it out. Do you understand? So this is why we kind of had that level and commitment to each other.
So when the child was born, how many weeks before you broke up?
Maybe no more than 2.
2 weeks?
Yeah. No,
and why would you, what was the reasons for breaking up in that short space of time?
Us making altercations. We didn't want altercations to escalate with the child, you understand? So at the time we had an argument. Things got toxic. We was in her house. We was in my daughter's mum's house. My mum was there, just helping around because obviously we just had the child and stuff like that. And then, after that situation there, me and my mum left. It was like it was a madness. It was a madness. You understand?
So it was like an argument that took place.
Yeah.
What was the situation? Or was you able to still see your child, or?
Like I said, it was about. I didn't see my child for maybe about 2 months.
Okay, so
like I said, my mum got involved, and my daughter's mum's grandma incorporated seeing my daughter again, and then I started getting into a routine of having her every other weekend.
So you was able to see your daughter every other week?
Yeah, every other weekend I had her.
All right, so that's obviously gone on.
Mm-hmm.
What happened now when you met the second mother?
Obviously, letting this person know that I just came out of a relationship. I just became a father. Like, everything's just fresh. Like, I'm going through a lot right now. My mum's not well. She understood that. Like, we was on the same level. So she understood that. She said she wanted the same too. Just wanted to take things slow. Like, it's no rush. You understand? So, we was a bit careless, We end up, she got pregnant, and basically she was pregnant with twins. She ultimately lost the other one, but through the whole time, well, not the whole time, the majority of the pregnancy, we kind of knew that there was a possibility that one's not gonna make it. So my daughter made it, which is how I end up having 2 kids in the same year.
But when she had to give birth to 2 of them, so obviously you knew that one may not make it. So you're going to have one who's going to bring joy, but then also there's one who's going to be delivered, knowing that one was not going to make it.
Yeah.
How did that play out?
To be honest, it's one of those things. It played out. It literally just played out. Was there no
emotional attached to that, or?
For me?
Yeah.
Most definitely.
So how did she deal with the loss of the child?
She maybe it was about 2 years after is when we sat down, and she kind of opened up and told me, a lot of things played on her mind and her emotions about it the year before that. So she kind of, she's in a better space now about it. But in the beginning, she kind of played it like she's cool, like I used to call her and stuff, like, how you doing? You're all right? You want company? And, a lot of the time she just tug it out. You get what I'm saying? That's how it was.
So fast forward, and what happened after that?
After that, I'd say, so yeah, my second daughter's first birthday, obviously I had to break the news to my first daughter's mum. So yeah, as the months progressed and I'm knowing I'm gonna have another child for someone I'm not with, it's like, how do I tell this to my first daughter's mum? Because cool, we're not together, but at the same time, it doesn't mean the feelings that she's got for me is just gone under the carpet. And at the same time, man, I have to be reasonable about it. Do you understand? Like, this wasn't in my plan. It definitely wasn't in my first daughter's mum's plan or my second daughter's mum's plan. So it's like, I knew it could probably send her to a place of deep hurt, and deep emotion. So, I was fighting that kind of battle of just kind of like, what, how am I going to tell her? When's the best time to tell her? Do you know what I mean? Like, just living that nightmare of, if I tell her, am I going to not see my daughter again?
I was about to ask you, what was you scared of from telling her?
Not seeing my daughter again. You understand? Not having that, even that understanding with her mum where, okay, we broke up after we just had our first child, but now we're back cordial. Do you understand? And now it's like, but now I have to drop a bomb. Do you understand? And it's like, I don't know how we could come back from that even as friends.
Your first baby mother that you had another child for somebody else. How did that all play out?
She was upset. She was emotionally hurt. I went to her house and told her. I tried to comfort her, but she didn't really want the comforting, which is understandable. Do you understand? So I stuck around the house for like maybe an hour or so. then left. The beginning of lockdown, I changed my job like 4 times. I had to change my job 4 times. Lost my job 4 times, got another one, started working. And me and my second daughter's mum started to have quarrels about me not doing enough at this time.
When she says you're not doing enough, what kind of things is she trying to talk about?
Well, this is what I was confused about because, like I said, I was working 6 days a week. I'm only having a 1 day off. And with that day off, I'm trying to spend it with my mum, spend it with my kids. Or if I had work to do outside of the bus driving, photography, videography, then I'll do it. So obviously money was being paid. I was spending the time when I could with my child. But for her, she just kept saying it's not enough, it's not enough, it's not enough. So I called a meeting before I called a meeting, I went to her house one day. I just pulled up. And she lives at home with her family. So you just don't know who's going to be there. But anyway, I pulled up. It was her mum, her dad, one of her sisters, and her. And I was just like, I just came around. I know I didn't make any appointments, but I just kind of wanted to clear the air and kind of gain clarity on, like, what's the issue? Because he basically said that I wasn't there for her in the beginning when she lost the first child, when she lost the twin. So, and this has been like a year. This is going into the second year. My daughter's going to be 2. So I'm thinking, this has been held in and built up for ages. Like, I didn't even know, like, you understand? So, we was talking for about maybe like an hour. Well, after a while, I kind of realized I wasn't really getting nowhere. It was more like a tag team. Like, I fell into the dungeon.
I was about to say
the
that
Lions Den. You get what I'm saying? So, I left, spoke with my mum about it because nothing was resolved. You understand? And I'm about solution and resolving. So I spoke with my mum. I spoke with my cousin. I said I wanted to have another meeting. I broke my foot in March. Long story short, I got signed off work for it. I didn't have no income coming in. I started to get migraines because I was just stressed. I was on universal credit. I had £30 a month to last. Do you understand? Like, it was horrible. You understand? Like, I lost my car. And these times I was living outside London. So my mum's sick. I got no car. My second daughter is in London. I don't really get to see her, but I still had the routine with the first one. So her mum would drop her to me. So I was still seeing her. So again, me and the second daughter's mum started going through ups and downs about me not doing enough. Now at this point, I'm like...
Are you two together at this point, or are you not together?
We've never been together.
Oh, wow.
We've never been together.
You wasn't thinking to yourself about maybe being more serious with her?
I most definitely was. Because like I said, it's like having a child is a serious thing. Like,
so how come you two didn't get together then?
So she was pregnant, and maybe like throughout the early months, 4 months, 5 months, she's like, yeah, I'm going to see such and such. He's in jail. You understand? So I'm thinking to myself, okay, me and this girl's not together. I get it. I get that. But you're pregnant with our kids, my kids, and you want to go and see someone in jail that... What are you going to see? Like, you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, of course.
So for me, I was like, and it's like, I wouldn't have known that she was going to see my man in jail if I didn't ask her.
But what was the relations to her and him?
She implied that they had a interaction. You understand? A sexual interaction. I'm like, all right, cool. So I was like, so why do you think that's cool type thing? You get what I'm saying? Like,
of course.
But I don't think I confronted her about how I felt about that straight away. Maybe it was like a few days. You understand? Because I'm trying to like...
So let me just ask you a question. Was these two talking to each other before she was pregnant with your children?
This is what I'm saying. This is what I was all trying to like...
When did you start to find that problems started coming ahead now?
Meeting at my house, at my mum's house. We had a second meeting and...
So at this meeting, she had this meeting. What happened at the meeting?
It went left.
How? What happened?
It went left in like 5 minutes.
From who?
Her dad.
Her dad? What energy was he coming with?
He was just on it. Like, so he went on to say like, I'm talking foolishness and this and that. He's not, he's getting up, he's getting in the car. My uncle passed away in September 2021. And the day before his funeral, one of my friends passed away. And I was getting into a argument with my daughter's mum, my first daughter's mum. We was basically, I sent her a text the night before saying that obviously I had been signed off work. I hadn't been working for a few months at this time. So I said to her, like, I could make some money, cash in hand. I don't want it to interrupt with the routine I got with having my daughter every other weekend. But what I could do is, say like, so normally I would have her from Friday to Sunday. So I said, what I could do is, my cousin, because my cousin also has other kids as well, my cousin doesn't mind having my daughter. So she called me the next day on some just, she's not on it. She's not on that. Like, I'm being so selfish. Why couldn't I get a job on during the week? And I'm saying, how am I selfish when I've spoke to my cousin, I'm speaking to you, I've got everything patterned, you included, you're getting extra time for yourself. Do you understand? I'm not messing up the routine. It's still the same days, everything. So she was just going off. And then because of that, so the next day was my uncle's funeral. She asked me if I could send her some money because my daughter didn't have any clothes to wear to come to the funeral. So I sent her the money. I was at the funeral to the end, and she didn't turn up.
Your daughter didn't turn up?
My daughter didn't turn up. My mum didn't call me and say she wasn't turning up or nothing. And then from there, it was just like I didn't see my daughter for another few months. It was in the new year, January last year. My mum's health declined majorly.
From cancer?
From cancer. I had to look for a hospice for her. So at this time, I had a photo shoot booked with my daughters. So my mum had bought like the Three Little Bears t-shirt, Papa Bear, my two daughters. By this point, I've cancelled the photo shoot with me and my kids twice. That time I had to cancel it because I had to look for a hospice. Like, I weren't in that frame of mind. You understand? Like, my mum passed away.
R.I.P. Mumsy.
Blessings, R.I.P. That's my queen, man.
Yeah, man.
That's my queen. She passed away. And when she passed away, things just, for me, was just, I basically was just abandoned. Like, things just switched, family switched, everything switched. You know what I'm saying? And
how did the family switch?
They weren't around. They weren't around, and around like the funeral time, it was like it's like everyone was playing games, mental games, mind games. You get what I'm saying? I realize why family members fall out when someone dies now, because it's like, raw, like, you lot are really choosing now to choose the F3, like this is not the time. But my mission was to just get the funeral done. I'm an only child. You get what I'm saying?
So did you arrange the funeral?
Yeah, I was back and forth. Yeah. Personally, I don't feel like there was the right support from my family. Okay. You get what I'm saying? And that just frigged up my mind even more. Like, having to deal with the emotional loss of my mum. And me and her was so tight. We was like this. It was just me and her. There's 99 boxes that need ticking with what family or friends could do to support you. At this point, you don't mind if they tick 2 boxes out of the 99. Like, you're just appreciative of anything. For me, it's like, I could personally say none of them boxes were ticked. Do you get what I'm saying? And I had to dig deep and kind of build understanding to why people are not coming around. You understand? Or not phoning me or saying I've been trying to call you. Oh, he don't answer his phone. They're telling me I don't answer my phone. I lost my mum. I'm an only child. I'm getting like 300 calls a day. Yeah. Having to organize everything a day. You get what I'm saying? So my phone, and I've never even really been a phone guy like that prior to that.
So you don't feel like you got support arranging your mum's funeral?
No.
All by yourself?
It was on me.
And then after the grievance stage after that, how was that?
It was very isolating. So like when my mum's funeral, it was in March last year. The first weekend after the funeral was Mother's Day. You get what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I was at her house. I was in her house, living in her house. It's just me. You understand? Bare of her stuff's around. On the table, bare the flowers from the funeral still there, the cards, all of that. I'm sitting in there just bawling, just crying like, yo, this is mad. Like, and alone, you get what I'm saying? Like, no one ain't phoned me to be like, you know what, cause I'm gonna come check you. It's Mother's Day. It's the first one. Or do you wanna come? Do you understand? There was no phone calls, no reach out. That was a Mother's Day.
Was there any support from your baby mothers?
The first one, she was in the beginning of my mum passing. She was decent. She was decent. My second one, she held it down still.
Yeah.
Like, she was the one that came, and because I asked her, but she was the one. She was helpful before that still, but she came and she cleaned my mum's house. Like, she did the mopping. You get what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie. I'll give credit where credit's due. The first one did that when my mum first passed away. Cool. The second one, she was just a bit more helpful in that degree. You understand? And you know, we was moving in a direction where the negative stuff was behind us. Well,
yeah,
I thought the negative stuff was behind us. When I tried to have the photo shoot with my kids, the third time now, I finally booked the studio. I spoke to my second daughter's mum. She was fine with it. The first one was fine. I messaged the first one and I said to her if she could drop my daughter to the house or to the studio so we could do the photo shoot. And she just messaged back, no, sorry, can't do. And I'm like, more time I'll just see the negativity and just be like, you know what, I'm not even going to entertain it. But I actually asked, like, why?
Yeah.
'Cause I'm thinking, like, do you need petrol? Like, what's the issue? Maybe we could collectively, like, do you understand? It was just like, oh, because it's just not convenient, but something like, there was nothing really. There was nothing to it. You get what I'm trying to say? Now, I think she reacted like that basically based on, before that we had an altercation, argument. We had an argument like a month before. The argument was basically, my first daughter's mum sent me a message. It was in April last year, a month after the funeral. She messaged me, she said, are you able to have my daughter on Friday? Because she's got the CEO of works coming out or wherever. And also, do I know when I'll be in a mental space to start having my daughter into a routine again? I said, Friday, that's fine. I can have her. I said, to be honest, I don't know when I'm going to be in that mental space to kind of implement a routine. Because you're still grieving. Still grieving. And I said to her in the same message, I told her, like, right now I'm struggling to even make myself breakfast twice a week. Like, that was my ultimate goal for at least 9 months of last year. And every day I'm failing. And every day that's making me feel like shit. Like, I'm like.
So after the situation of obviously your mum passed away and the grieving, and you tried to explain yourself to your kids' mothers that you was kind of going up and down with the whole emotions of your mum passing away.
Yeah. What
happened after that?
We had an argument. Obviously, I didn't get to bring my kid to the photo shoot, so it was only 2 of us. So I reached out to my second daughter's mum because at this point now, both of them are in contact. They got each other's numbers. They're cordial. So my second daughter's mum said that she would, this was in May. She said that she'll make the kids link up. I was like, all right, cool. That's all right. I'm going to read the actual message I sent to her.
Oh, you got it there, okay?
Yeah, I got it here.
Are you going to read the whole thing or are you going to read what you said?
I'm going to read what she said before and then I'll tell you what I said in return. So she said, it's all a part of parenting. You'll eventually get to the place to be supportive for your babies. You can figure this out, but in the meantime, I'll try to get the girls together. And then my response was, with all the things I fight daily to this current day, my kids should be the one thing on this earth that I don't have to fight for. Should only fight to protect them and not to be with them. You know what I'm saying? I'm praying that you and my other daughter's mum get to lock in and link up whilst I maneuver through the sandstorm. And then she didn't message me until like about 2 weeks later.
So that was that. It was just to talk about. That was that for the photo shoot, yeah.
No, that was after the photo shoot, just to get my daughters to link up, because I knew that I wasn't gonna probably see my first daughter because me and her mum had an argument. Okay. So I knew it was gonna be back to that stuff again.
After what's been going on, Do you have access to see your kids?
I haven't seen my second daughter since before September. That would have been my mum's birthday
Last year.
I basically asked both of them if they could bring so basically my mum passed away last year. September the 30th would have been my mum's the first birthday since she passed. So I asked them if they could just bring my kids round to the house. I had some family come around. I was open to it. Like I said, I hadn't really been dealing with my family prior to that. But I thought it's my mum's birthday. I'll make an effort. The door's open. Who want to come can come. But anyway, it got to about 7 p.m. My first daughter's mum said to me, she'd sent me a text, said she's not going to be able to make it. She did tell me that her car was playing up before or whatever. But at that point, she was like, I can't make it. Are you driving? Now in my head, I'm thinking like, whether I'm driving or not, what can I do now? Like, I can't just get up. People's in the house. I can't just get up and go. You could have told me this from 12 o'clock because my cousin lives right near my daughter. She could have come down with I'm sitting next to my cousin that's here. She could have just brought my daughter and come down. So it felt like you didn't really make an effort. Do you understand? And it's not even a, effort for me as such, but like my kids. With the second one, long story short, my second daughter didn't turn up. My mum didn't message me. She didn't call me. That was on a Friday. Friday went, I didn't hear nothing. Saturday went, didn't hear nothing. By like Sunday, I'm flipping now. I'm flipping on both of them.
Yeah.
I sent them a text like, are you taking a piss? Like, all I asked for was my kids to come. And whether you can or you can't, an effort could have been made or better lines of communication could have been. Do you understand? So with the first one, we was just back and forth. At this point, I just had enough because I've been holding in a lot of stuff just to keep the peace throughout the months. But at this point now, I'm just like, you're not going to do this on my mum's birthday. Like, this is something different. You're talking about my mum and my kids. These are two different things that I will go crash out over. Do you understand? So the second one, I told her the same thing. And it was just back and forth from then. So that was the reason why from there, just the lack of not being able to speak to them. But I had spoken to my cousin. Now my cousin, she talks with both my daughter's mums. Like, it's ironic because a couple of months ago, they went out together. Now, this is whilst I'm not even I haven't seen my youth. So I'm saying to my cousin, like, when you see her, do you ask her what's happening like with you two? Like, she's like, nah, I don't want to get involved. But at the same time, she says she wants to be involved. She's willing to be a mediator and make my kid go to her house or whatever. But it's like, how can you do that when
you don't feel you're getting support on your side? And she's obviously your family member, then she's just brethren with them.
Back to the lack of support with my dad. It's the same thing. So I remember, like I said, that time when I broke my foot, 2021, wasn't working, no car, nothing. My dad called me and was like, when's the last time you seen your daughter? And that instantly rubbed me the wrong way when he asked that, because it's like, I saw him 2 weeks ago and I was venting to him about not seeing my daughter. So already I'm like, what are you trying to get at? What are you saying?
Yeah.
And he was just like, why you just don't go around there? I said, first of all, everything I've gone through with trying to see my kids, I said, look, if I go to the house and someone says something slightly left, I don't know if it's going to be a good idea for me to be there. It's going to make things escalate. Do you understand? And at the end of the day, that's not what I'm there for. So I had to be smart and say, I'm not going to do that. So me and him kind of got into this back and forth, and I kind of stopped dealing with him from that point, because it's like, because I said to him also, like, because he went to the house and saw my daughter recently. Like, he goes to...
So he visits them.
Like, he don't even phone. He just goes, like, he's got it like that. So when I'm saying, like, so hold on. So when you saw her, did you ask her, like, when last has my daughter seen me? Or when last have she spoken to me? He's like, nah, I don't want to get involved.
So no one wants to get involved.
No one wants to get involved. And I'm like, but I'm not seeing my kids. Like, my kids are not seeing me. Do you understand? Like, why is not people not doing it for the kids?
So I'll ask you this. So the first child, how long have you seen that child for?
So I started seeing her again in January.
So, okay, so you got access to that one?
I haven't seen her. I started seeing her in January till about twice, till about maybe March. I saw her twice.
Okay.
The last time, her mum's just been moving funny. Her mum's just moving funny and put me on CSA
So the mom's put you on CSA recently.
And that's because I've gone down the mediation road. No, I'm not saying that's why she's done it, but I'm saying, ironically, I've gone down the mediation road for both of them, and it's to the point now where she's done that. So I haven't seen my first daughter in a couple months. The other one has been longer.
So the other daughter, the second daughter,
Yeah.
how long has that one been for now?
Been what?
Haven't seen that one for?
I haven't counted. It's before my mum's birthday, so before September.
So last year, September.
Yeah, so when I got back probably from Jamaica, so maybe August.
And do you know what the reason why they're saying that you cannot see these two kids?
I don't have a clue. And this is what I've tried to ask my dad or my cousin or my family to find out, because I don't know. They don't, my people don't know, I don't know. So it's like, but you lot have the best, you lot in the best position to know, to find out. Do you understand? And you're just not.
All right. Have you done any mediation?
Not yet. We got the first one coming up.
Okay. And if the mediation don't work, would you decide to go court?
100%. I'm gonna flatten the earth. Listen, I got all these papers, audio, evidence now, but seriously, man, I'm going to the moon and back for my kids. 100%. I wouldn't have it any other way.
If I asked you to reflect on yourself and take accountability, what could you turn and say what you could have done different in this whole situation?
I don't think I could do anything different. I've exhausted every option. I've asked my family to get involved, to find out this. You know what I mean? I've reached out myself. It's happened and stuff, but things just don't change. Like, and this is why I've taken it down the route of that, because it's like no one's taking what I'm saying serious. Like, even when I'm telling my family, like, all right, cool, I'm having my daughter now, but her mum says she's gonna pick her up at 1 o'clock. She ain't come to pick her up until 6. I don't even have the food prepped because I never knew that I was gonna have her that long. So you're kind of taking the mick now. Do you understand? So when I'm telling my people this, because I'm saying it's better you talk to her and let her understand that you can't do that. That can't run. Because if I do it, it's an issue, and then I'm back to not seeing my kids again.
But what I'm trying to get at is you got two mothers who's stopping you from seeing your kids. It's not just one, there's two. Sometimes we can always look at, oh, that person's aiming to do this, not aiming to do that. But if you're checking yourself, is there anything you can maybe look in yourself to think what you could maybe have done wrong in this whole situation to be getting this behavior out of these two women, because the two of them are not allowing you to see your child or your kids?
I believe it's hurt and emotion. I think it's down to hurt and emotion.
Yeah.
Like, I think they're both hurt for different reasons. And this is their way of just dealing with it. And this is not dealing with it, to be honest. Because I'm so open. Like, if you see the messages, the conversations that we have over the years, we talk. Like, there's depth to conversation. It's not like, do you understand? So there's no need. It's not, for instance, my first daughter's mum, she's got a boyfriend. She sat me down and told me last year that she's got a man. I was like, has he met my daughter? She's like, no, he hasn't met her. It's not that serious yet, but I'll let you know if it gets down that road, which I was like, cool, I respect it.
100.
Now, my thing is, if I was...
Some men don't get that, you know.
Some men don't get that, and some women can't tell their baby father that.
Yeah.
Some man is not hearing that. So the fact that she knows she could talk to me, it shows that I'm level-headed.
If your kids was watching, what would you like to say to them? And you could tell them in this camera right here.
Yeah, no, say I love the both of you. I just got so much plans. I got so much plans for them. There's so much things I'm working towards. Like,
you're talking to them, not me.
Sorry, my bad. I got so much plans for you lot. I've been putting in work, even through these troubling testing times. Your nana is watching and protecting you guys also, and me. You lot are so intelligent, and once all of this dust settles, we're gonna probably be watching this like, raw. You had to go through this, yeah, but it's all right because we're in a better place now. You understand? So that's it.
So Ace, I want to say thank you for coming on today's show. It's definitely been a touching story. I do hope you do get to see both of your kids again. We will be following this process with you as well to find out what the outcome is. So we will be asking you to come back to share that with us at some point when you go through the process. I want to hear your lot's views today on today's show in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like. And don't forget to press that notification button. All right? So for myself, DJ Ridler, I'm from the Baby Fathers. Peace. And we out.